The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people, and in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It's an honor to be able to make a difference and to be able to speak in this regard with an administration that I love so much and that I feel genuinely represented by. It's a real honor.
Just in case you guys didn't know, that was Trump's State Department spokesperson, Tammy Bruce. And she says that America is the greatest country on earth next to Israel. Because, you know, Israel is greater than America. Now, isn't that something interesting for someone who is supposed to be working for the American people? Isn't that interesting? Isn't it weird that all of these people who are running America, they all pledge their allegiance to Israel before America? They say that America is great, one of the greatest countries next to Israel. Now, over here on my channel, you don't got to worry about none of that hogwash because I'm America first. And I'm really America first. I'm not a brainwashed person that will sway like the wind and all of a sudden change all of my political beliefs and change all of my principles and everything I stand on. It will not change overnight like the majority of people that you're seeing supporting this war. But anyways, before I go off on a rant, let me go ahead and update you all on World War III, because we are in the middle of World War III. Now, a lot of people are saying that Trump started World War III. That's not true. Trump did not start World War III. These attacks on Iran last night did not start World War III. World War III has been raging on for a while now, folks. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that I say that all the time. I am not someone that is all of a sudden panicking. I've been warning about the dangers of entering into another endless war in the Middle East for basically my entire adult life. And I have dozens of videos talking about this. Everyone was supporting my videos when Biden was president. Now that Trump is president, everyone is all sensitive, and you can't criticize anything. You just got to be gung-ho for the war. And we see all of these big political influencers like the retard cat turd. They were all against entering into foreign wars. No more getting involved in foreign wars. Everyone was against sending money to Ukraine. And I was against all of this stuff as well. The only problem is I'm still against this stuff. But now everyone else is for this stuff. Now everyone is all for sending all of our money to go support foreign wars. Now everyone is all for sending our kids to die on foreign soil for the best interest of another country. But anyways, like I said, I got some updates for you all. And boy, oh boy, is it bad. It's worse than I thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a complete mess right now. We are in a complete mess. As you guys know, we attacked the Iranian mountain nuclear fortress of Fordo. Last night, they claimed that we totally obliterated it, that we destroyed it. Well, the smoke cleared and turned out that nothing is destroyed. And this is not information that is coming directly from me. This is information that is being shared by U.S. intelligence officials. This is information that is being shared by Israeli intelligence officials. This is information that is being shared by U.S. military officials and Israeli military officials. So if you're mad about anything I say in this video, don't shoot the messenger. Go take it up with them. This is what a lot of you all decided to sign up for and support a couple of days ago. So don't start crying now. Don't get mad now that the facts are coming out. Fordo is not destroyed, though. And now, U.S. officials have had to admit that they don't know where Iran's uranium stockpile is. U.S. officials, not me, not Cinema Shogun, people that work for the U.S. government, people that are in the U.S. military, People who are in Trump's cabinet have now admitted, they have now conceded that they don't know where Iran's uranium stockpile is. And it is believed, according to U.S. officials and Israeli officials, not Cinema Shogun, for the love of God, it is believed that this uranium was moved. And if you look at satellite photos, you can easily see that literally over the last few days, dozens upon dozens upon dozens of cargo trucks were pulling right up to Fordo and pulling right back out. They also had bulldozers there, and they were filling all of the entrances of Fordo with a bunch of dirt. They were packing all type of dirt on top of the sensitive areas. And that dirt would make it harder for these bombs to be effective, and from what I'm hearing, they did not work. But, like I said, folks, this is not my information. This is information coming from the Israeli military, the same people that told you Iran had nukes. So you believed them when they said Iran had nukes. Don't try to not believe them now. This is what you guys were following up with. So don't get mad at me. Let's just go ahead and dive into the information. Man, this is terrible. U.S. officials concede they do not know whereabouts of Iran's uranium stockpile. Rafael Mariano Grossi, the director of General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, said he believed that Tehran's stockpile of near bomb-grade nuclear material had been moved before the strikes. A day after President Trump declared that Iran's nuclear program had been completely and totally obliterated by American bunker-busting bombs and a barrage of missiles, the actual state of the program seemed far more murky, with senior officials in Trump's cabinet conceding they did not know the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile of near bomb-grade uranium. We are going to work in the coming weeks to ensure that we do something with that fuel, and that's one of the things that we're going to have conversations with the Iranians about, Vice President J.D. Vance told ABC's This Week on Sunday, referring to a batch of uranium sufficient to make 9 or 10 atomic weapons. Nonetheless, he contended that the country's potential to build a weapon had been set back substantially because it no longer had the equipment to turn that fuel into operative weapons. In a briefing for reporters on Sunday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, avoided Mr. Trump's claims of success. They said an initial battle damage assessment of all 3 sites struck by Air Force B-2 bombers and Navy Tomahawk missiles showed severe damage and destruction. Satellite photos of the primary target, the Fordo uranium enrichment plant that Iran built under a mountain, showed several holes where a dozen 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrators, one of the largest conventional bombs in the U.S. arsenal, punched deep holes in the rock. The Israeli military's initial analysis concluded that the site, the target of American and Israeli military planners for more than 26 years, sustained serious damage from the strike, but had not been completely destroyed. I want to pause right there. It's always funny when they admit this stuff. So right here in the article, they say, hey, this has not been completely destroyed. We got senior officials saying that we don't know where the uranium is. And they even state right here, hey, for the last 26 years, Israel has been planning on striking this mountain. For the last 26 years now. Why did it have to happen now? If this was on their agenda, if this was so important, then why did it wait 26 years? You waited until Trump was president. You knew this. If this was such a problem, folks, if Iran was so close to nuclear weapons, then they would have been close to weapons 6-7 months ago when Biden was president. But they did not make a move then. You did not hear Israel thumping for America to go to war then. Why? because they wanted to do it under Trump. This is not just about war in the Middle East. This is about tanking Trump and the whole movement that he had behind him. And right now, the attacks in Iran were not successful, but tanking the movement, it looks like it's working. The very fact that I cannot sit here and just provide factual information without people freaking out and saying I'm lying when I'm providing information directly from people who work with Trump, for Trump, shows you everything you need to know. Some people are just far, far out there. They're so far removed from reality. They'll say, "You're lying, Cinema Shogun. Why are you lying?" I'm sharing information from Trump's people. So if you think it's a lie, take it up with them. Like I said, but they admit for 26 years they basically wanted to bomb this mountain. It just had to happen now, right? It just had to, right? But let's go forward in the article. But there is also evidence, according to 2 Israeli officials with knowledge of the intelligence, that Iran had moved equipment and uranium from the site in recent days. And there was growing evidence that the Iranians, attuned to Mr. Trump's repeated threats to take military action, had removed 400 kilograms, or roughly 880 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity. This is just below the 90% that is usually used in nuclear weapons. Rafael Mariano Grossi, the director general of International Atomic Energy Agency, said by text that the fuel had last been seen by his teams of UN inspectors about a week before Israel began attacks in Iran. But he said on CNN that Iran has made no secret that they have protected this material. Asked by text later in the day whether he meant that the fuel stockpile, which stored in special casks small enough to fit in the trunks of about 10 cars, had been moved, he replied, "I do." So everyone is under the assumption that this material that they would need to move, that it's all of this gigantic material. Oh my God, how would they do this in 2 days? No. They can take all of the enriched uranium they have and they can fit it in the trunks of about 10 small cars. The car that you have in your driveway, take 10 of those, and that's all Iran needs to move all of this uranium. According to these reports, remember, I didn't come up with this information. U.S. Israeli officials are all stating this. Go cry to them. So, not only was this strike not successful, but all this strike did was lead to another narrative, lead to another excuse for America to strike again. And then again, and then again, and then again, because supposedly they don't know where the uranium is at. Now here's something that I admit is really stupid. We have we have satellite photos of all of these trucks pouring into Fordo, piling up the dirt on the entrances and bulldozing dirt into the tunnels. We have photos of all of these cargo trucks coming in and coming out. Now, people have made the point that, hey, if we have satellite images of them going to Fordo, wouldn't we have satellite images of where they're going? And people are acting like I'm stupid because all I'm doing is reporting to you all the information that they're providing. Yeah, I think it's stupid that they're claiming they have photos of all of this uranium basically being moved, but they claim they don't know where the uranium is. If your satellite photos can show you them moving the uranium, why didn't you follow them to wherever they moved the uranium to? I get it. Yeah, common sense, folks. But guess what? They rely on people being dumb. You could take your common sense and throw it out the window. They rely on people being dumb. I'm sure they know where the cargo trucks went, but they want to act like it's a big mystery. Because this was never about nuclear strikes. This is about a longer war. So now they have the excuse of, we don't know where the uranium is. We need the Americans again. Please, come on, join the war even further. So all of you sitting at home thinking, oh, I got Cinema Shogun now. Oh, it's stupid. They got satellite photos. You really believe this? No, I don't believe all of this stuff. But this is the information that they're providing. I want you guys to remember, I'm not the one that buys into the official narrative here. I'm the one telling you that this is all a gigantic psyop, that all of this is BS. Y'all are the ones, and when I say y'all, I don't mean all of my viewers. People know who I'm talking to. The pro-war people, y'all are the ones pushing this narrative, not me. Y'all are the ones buying into the hype, not me. I warned people about this for years. I knew this was coming. Everyone who knows anything knew that this was on the table. So before you go, oh, you really think they got the photos you don't know? That's what they're trying to convince you guys to believe. I don't believe any of this stuff. Which is why I told you that from day one. But y'all acted like I was the enemy. So guess what? Now you're going to see who the real enemy is. Plot twist, spoiler alert, it's not me, it's your own government. Sorry, it always has been, and apparently, unfortunately, it looks like it always will be. I thought maybe we had a chance to make things different in this country, but I doubt it. It doesn't look like we do now. So, yeah, they have satellite photos of them evacuating and moving the uranium. They don't claim they know where it's at, though, because that's their excuse now to further drag on this war. And just to solidify that this is not about nukes, Marco Rubio himself was on the news earlier today and just said the quiet part out loud. He went full mask off and just solidified the fact that this is not about nukes at all. Marco Rubio literally said that it is irrelevant whether or not Iran was actively pursuing a nuke before the U.S. bombed Iran. So Marco Rubio has pushed the goalpost. Everyone who said we wouldn't invade Iran or we wouldn't bomb Iran, now we're bombing Iran. Now they say, oh, it won't be regime change. Now we know it's regime change. And now Marco Rubio, he has put out the new download for the NPCs to eat up and act like this was always their opinion. Marco Rubio has now stated, you know, nuclear bombs or no nuclear bombs, we were going to attack anyway, basically. He's saying that nuclear bombs is irrelevant in this whole matter. Now, the American people were sold on the lie that this was all about nukes. Iran can't have nukes. Iran can't have nukes. Iran chants death to America. You want to know who else chants death to America? Your fat aunt in Portland. She's at the riots chanting death to America. You want to know who else chants death to America? Your daughter. She's at college right now chanting death to America. Is it stupid? Yeah. Do I agree with it? No. Can we go bomb and destroy and kill everyone who doesn't like America? No, we cannot. That's not a valid excuse for war. That's just the excuse that they sold you and you bought it all up. Because, God, good God. Anyways, Marco Rubio has now stated that Iran having nukes is irrelevant. So the whole argument is just blown out of the water. This is a catastrophe. But let's go ahead and dive into this article. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Sunday it's irrelevant whether the U.S. had intelligence that Iran was actively pursuing a nuclear weapon before bombing it. Rubio said the mere fact that Iran had everything they need to build nuclear weapons justified Trump's decision to take an action against the theocratic regime. That's irrelevant, Rubio said. They had everything they needed to build a weapon. It's irrelevant if they had the weapon or not. Earlier this year, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard testified that Iran did not have nuclear weapons and was not building nuclear weapons. She also testified that Iran's supreme leader had not authorized a nuclear weapons program. That was just like 3 months ago. That was literally 3 months ago. Now, of course, we know what happened from there. So now the question is, what happens next? And I already laid out several different possibilities. I got so many videos talking about situations over there in Iran. I already put out a video the other day talking about the domino effect that would happen if we joined this war. So you can go ahead and expect those dominoes to start falling. But I'm telling you right now, you don't got to agree with me. Which, by the way, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, you're just disagreeing with Israel and the U.S. military. But if you disagree or you agree, doesn't matter. Keep your head on a swivel. Be ready. Be ready. And be prepared, because you're about to get hit with so much propaganda. They are changing the narrative, and they are changing it fast. We used to have to wait weeks or months for them to change the narrative. They are now doing it overnight. They went from Trump isn't going to attack to, oh, it's a good idea that Trump attacked, to this is not going to be regime change. This is just a one-time attack. Now they're pushing regime change. You never know how far these people will push it, but they will push it as far as you allow them. You gave them an inch. Everyone that was pro-striking Iran, understand you gave them an inch. And now they're going to take 7,000 miles from you. Okay? So go ahead and get ready. And you can expect me to be here calling this stuff out, because I am plugged all the way in. I am paying attention. I know most others are not, and that's why they don't like the information I share, because my information is ahead of the curve, as it always is. But for now, you guys, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.